I do have a question though. What you just said, that so if your student has an IEP, then your student's school will receive some funding for those services. If they have a 504, the school doesn't receive funding for it. So why aren't schools pushing for the IEP instead of the 504? Is it that the funding they get doesn't actually cover the services?
No, it's because it's almost always a case of districts give 504 accommodations and they don't give services. And they even tell parents you only get accommodations out under 504, not services. And the reason they like 504 is lack of accountability procedures.
I would think they would be greedy though for the money. I guess that doesn't outweigh it.
It's not that much money.
Okay. All right.
And the way I would think about it if I were an administrator is whatever money I get if the parent sues me under the IDEA, all that money's gone.
Okay. That makes a certain amount of sense.
It's not clear to those of you on the show that have been listening for a while, we might as well get into full disclosure here. Almost every case I do ends up in either a decision or a settlement agreement that involves the provision of attorney's fees. And those fees are expensive to districts and they hate them. They hate
as they should.
Yeah,
I just wish they hated it so much that they did what was right to start.
Yeah, no, I agree with all of that. But the thing for the listeners to understand is that still remains the main kind of carrot or stick or whatever you want to call it. And so, and they all have really high caseloads. So it's much easier for them to have a 504 meeting that'll take 30 minutes and doesn't require a lot of prep and doesn't require them to come back annually and show progress. So that's why they like the 504 plans.
Okay, good to know. I'm going to ask you a question, Bonnie.
I have run into at least one psychologist, and I'm not going to say more about it, but I think there are more than just her, who did not understand the difference between 504 and the IDEA after many years in practice. And she would write in her reports, she'd write the whole thing up, and then she'd say the kid qualifies for a 504 plan as if she was giving the parent something great. Yeah. So I get a report that says the kid has all these problems, they should be eligible for a 504 plan. I'm like, oh, shoot. Because once you give that to the district's going to come back to you and say, your own expert recommended a 504 plan.
Yeah, well, frustrating. I want to empower parents, as you have throughout this that ask questions, seek out legal help. If you're in California, Nevada, Arizona, you can reach out to Tollner Law offices. If you're in other states, reach out to copaa.net and get some support for you, because this is the basis for everything. We can talk about everything else that you're going to argue with the school district, but if you have that IEP, you're going to be arguing from a different place than if you don't. Correct, Bonnie?
Yeah, and the chart didn't mention this, but it occurs to me you don't have the right to an individualized transition plan under 504.
There you go.
To prepare you for adult employment. But generally speaking, I mean, people, if there are 100 of you and you have a kid with ADHD, 75 of them are going to probably have ADHD of the sort that's going to require an IEP.
There you go.
So there are some people with ADHD who are medicated or not, or their ADHD is mild and they're just fine without an IEP. So that might be the case or it might not be. But just because you have ADHD does not mean that it's not severe enough to have an educational impact such that you should not be on a 504 plan and you should have an IEP.
Okay.
Hey, thanks for watching Autism Live. To subscribe, click here. And if you'd like to check out some more of our videos, click here.